And good morning, and welcome. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv, Boles.tv. And I'm talking a little strange today and looking in a strange, different way because I'm testing to see if our closed captions are working. And oh my gosh, they are. I just can't believe it. Jana Marie, can you see me? Can you read my words, Jana Marie? And as Jana Marie gets ready to go, we're a little late today because I've made some changes in this stream. Oh, but there's Jana Marie, sweetheart. Yes, she can read the captions. Woohoo! I'm going to tell you a story about that in just a minute. Very interesting ideas. So I changed a lot of things yesterday and early this morning. Couldn't sleep last night because I said there has to be a way that I can enable closed captions for this live stream. We have a lot of deaf friends, hard of hearing friends, New York, Midwest, California, and they're left out of my part of the show. When Jana Marie is here, they're involved. It's ASL, it's hardcore ASL. It is Jana Marie, sweetheart, on Fridays at 10:15, and Saturdays and Sundays, 11 a.m. Eastern. And our stream here with you every day is 9 a.m. Eastern. And I was late because my beloved music was misbehaving. It was very, very, very loud. Now, I've added some things since we last spoke. I've added the captions, but I can't imagine that would interfere with the music. There's Dora, she's with us. And I've also added a new feature. Dora, you'll have to tell us if you can see the captions. You can turn them off if you don't like them. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But I have this new feature where I can pin what somebody says in chat. So I'm going to pin this right now. Boing. Jana Marie, can you read me in closed captions? And that's what I said in chat. That's from me. And it will stay there until I unpin the message. So this is great. And it's especially great for the Jana Marie when she's teaching on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, ASL, talking about things. She can type in something like, she, not just a chat person, but she, now I'll talk about autism and the deaf and cochlear implants. And she can send that chat. Okay, we're pretending that's from Jana Marie, sweetheart. And it's there, and it disappears after a moment, because that's the way chat works, if you're doing it right. Okay, so it disappears, and she's giving a 10-minute lecture on autism and cochlear implants, and somebody comes in a little bit late to class, our online live streaming class. So when she starts talking about it, she pins it. This is what we're talking about right now, right here. Not now, but if, Jana Marie. Now I'll talk about autism and deaf, and so you know what she's talking about. And she doesn't have to keep typing it. And sometimes you put up artist Dora. Good morning, I don't say anything. There's Jana Marie. Oop, let's pin this one from Dora because it's going to disappear. I see it, the closed captions, I believe. I had to turn it on. That's interesting. I'll need to see it on iPad. Fascinating. I'm fascinated by the whole thing. Now let me see how this looks on my end. I'm going to unpin this because... Well, no, I'll leave it pinned because I'll show you what it looks like. Repin. It's too... Now, I think if you click on the gear icon, Artist Dora, you can make the... Let's do it together. Uh-oh. Oh, I had to restart. So because of that music problem I was having, I had to restart everything, restart the stream because it was really messed up. I don't know what happened. And sometimes you just have to restart your whole life to get back in the mix of it. And we did. Now let me see, where was I looking for? I have to put up... different screen here because I'm just a little confused about what's going on. We'll put up a chess screen because then I know exactly what it is. But we're not going to play chess. Don't worry, we're not playing chess. So cancel. Pull up the web browser. Pull up the web browser. Okay. Look for Chrome. I had to redo this whole thing yesterday because I'll get to that in a minute. Oh, this is getting, let me see. Let me try it again. That's what I'm looking for. I think that's it. Okay, so you can see we have Artist Dora still pinned to the top. And I need to make that a little bit smaller because we had a change in web browsers from last night till today. Why? I'll tell you why. Because our wonderful closed captioning only works using the Chrome browser and Microsoft Edge browser. And we've been using the Brave browser just because it's less intense, but Brave browser does not allow our closed captions to stream beautifully because the closed captions we have right now come through this microphone and get presented on the screen. So if I were playing music or playing a video with words, it would not get closed caption because it has to go through here. Remember when we did the Google Docs writing together in the first week or two of this show? I tried to use the Brave browser for that. It didn't work, so I had to use Chrome, and it worked beautifully. And it's so far working beautifully here, which I'm shocked. Not that the technology is working, but that I got it to work. That's what shocks me. Okay, so this is the right browser. I have a lot of browsers open because it's that kind of day. And I want to show you Shazam. Okay, so this is our live stream right now. I'm reloading it, so it will hopefully reload the live stream. We'll see if it happens. We're nervous. Oh, we see closed captioning. Oh boy. See, now I got to take a picture of this so I can send it to all of our deaf and hard of hearing friends and say, I finally did it. I got the closed captioning to work. We'll see if it happens. Oh, here we go. We're nervous. Oh, we see closed captioning. I'm taking screenshots. That's the noise you hear of me. See, now I got to take a picture of this. Ding-donging in the background. So I can send it to all of our... Oh, on our store. Now I see it on my phone. It's time to... I finally did it. I got the closed captioning. I'll load Twitch on iPad. Oh, here we go. It'll work beautifully. We're nervous. Okay. Oh, we see. Now I'm talking to myself, and it's very annoying because I can't hear myself because I'm trying to talk to you, and it's a mirror within a mirror within a mirror within a mirror within a mirror. so I can send it to all of
Oh,
our
Understore. Now I see it on my phone.
friends
It's
and say,
time. I
"What do you
finally
magnify
did it.
glasses?"
I got the closed captioning.
I'll load
Don't
Twitch
worry.
on iPad.
Oh, here we
Sure
go.
work beautifully.
Okay.
We're nervous.
So,
We're going to do
this
to get rid of that.
Yeah.
Now
Closed
I'm talking to
captioning.
myself, and it's very annoying because I can't hear myself.
I'm still
because
talking
the
to
voice
myself.
box
Oh,
here
this
is
is a
terrible.
mirror
Now I
within
gotta
a
take
mirror
pictures.
within a mirror within a mirror.
Okay. Now, what I want to try to do... Oh, I can turn my mic off on this. Okay, so play. Wah. Okay, so if you're following along at home, you see Stream CC. That's the wonderful guy, one guy who has this project working. And I thought people had to pay to get the captions. Pay bits to get the captions. But my learning curve is about an hour and a half, so it looks like the captions are working. I don't know how or why. Maybe we have to pay later. I don't understand it. But I'm thrilled so far. So you click on Settings, Artist Dora. Thank you, Artist Dora. Oh, let's all compliments get pinned. Let's just put it that way. Is it pinning? Unpin. Pin. No, it's not pinning. I don't know why. We'll try to pin this one. Ah, it won't pin if there's an emoji. So all compliments must be non-emoji. So you go over here, you click on the gear icon, which is Settings. Click and see. And you can use smaller text. Ms. Dora. You can use medium text, large text. Use a dyslexia font. Gray out finish text, all uppercase text. I don't know why it keeps disappearing. Increase line count, decrease line count, reset position. Oh, it's just so fabulous. Enable square text box, and then advanced settings. I'm slightly nervous to click on advanced settings, but what can I do? I'm very cat-like. I'm curious and I have to know. Oh, captions with text. You can set the size, transparency, how you want it to look. Oh, I just love that. Well, now I have to close this because it's making me slightly ill watching myself go around in circles. Pause. Okay. Ooh, we'll get rid of that later. So, that's how you can... Hello again. That's how you can make these captions work for you specifically. And I'm just shocked and very proud that I was able to figure this out. Now, I'm not that smart, usually, so I'll show you what this looks like on my end. I have to turn this on my end in order to have the captions read my microphone. And I'm turning this on the website of the gentleman who has helped us get this working. So I'll show you right now. This is what it looks like. So quick start. So click to stop the captions. So there's this button there that I have to click to start the captions. And then it's through Chrome reading my microphone and everything that I say and captioning it and then sending it out to you the world over. So that's cool. It almost feels like a victory. It will be a victory once I figure out what's going on. No emojis noted. I love the emojis, especially they look so fantastic. I don't know why they aren't pinning. That's very interesting to me. It doesn't make any sense. So I guess I was under the understanding that if you wanted to have captions, you couldn't provide universal captions as the streamer unless maybe you paid a fee. I'm a little confused about it. Write myself a message transcript. And then I thought that the viewers, individual viewers, had to pay 500 bits to watch this live stream with captions. But so far as I can tell, the captions are working and we didn't have to pay any bits. Which I'm thankful for because bits are expensive on Twitch. Like if you want to buy 1,500 bits, that's $20. So like $6, $7 a day to watch closed captions, no one would ever pay that. Especially when it's $5 a month to watch and be a member of this stream. But maybe it's different translations. If we wanted this translated from English to German or something, maybe that's what costs 500 bits a day. I don't know. I wrote to the developer yesterday asking a series of questions, many of which I have now figured out on my own. But if I knew it was this easy from day one, I would have done it. Here's what confused me. You install the extension, you set it up through Twitch, and then you activate it on the streaming website. And I did all of that. And there were no captions. So as time goes on and you stream more and you become more familiar with the colloquialism of how things work and how things don't work, I figured out that the extension has to be not just installed, but activated as an overlay. And I believe you can only have one overlay, and I had an overlay, but I don't know what it did. It was from Streamlabs. So yesterday I got smart and said, well, ooh, now that makes sense. It would be an overlay, so people can click on it and get functions, and it's an overlay over the stream. That's what a captioning is an overlay. So I thought, oh boy, let me activate it. And then I figured out, it looks like it's activated. I tested my microphone, everything's working, but I don't know if it's closed captioning. I'm captioning here at home last night on my test, but I can't see it in my stream because you have to be live streaming to get the captions, which is very interesting to me. And as I understand it, these captions are ephemeral. Meaning, you read them and they're gone. I don't believe they're saved or recorded or transcriptized. And I know that they do not get sent or saved with the video on demand. Now, luckily, we have Facebook, YouTube. If we want to replay something later, we can put it there and people can watch and get captions once those shows fall off of our Twitch channel. So it's live or nothing if you want the captions. And I'm not sure why. Now, if we were using a different streaming software, we're using Streamlabs. If we were using regular OBS, and Streamlabs is a branch of OBS, which is called Streamlabs OBS, but they've now changed their name to just Streamlabs Desktop because they got in trouble with OBS. Then we could open up a WebSocket and a punch in the face and a zim-zam, and we'd have captions saved as part of our video on demand. But I can't figure that out. Because for now, we're using Streamlabs because we've prepaid for a year and we've in our second month, so it's going to be a while before we change anything because, as you can see, things break very quickly here. I have a wonderful talent for breaking things. And luckily, I'm 99% smart enough to put it back the way it was. It's called the last known good. If you are dealing with these complicated sort of technical things, go back to the last thing that worked and work your way back, which is what I did with the music this morning. The music was pinned here, and it's one song playing over and over and over at the loudest level. And I tried the other music services, they were all doing the same thing. So I just stopped the stream, restarted, here we are. Now, I don't know if this closed caption thing is just a test, because I can't see it on my Streamlabs screen. I can only see it when I look at my live screen. But it's still very exciting. I've learned in practicing that the closed captions does not like Boles.tv. So I have to spell it out like Jana Marie said. BOLES.TV. And sometimes it doesn't do a dot, it does a period. But I have to say period. And then it usually works. I'll try it one more time. BOLES period TV. There you go. It's a little confusing, but people who live with closed captions live with this kind of mistaken misery. And it's not the developer, it's not the technology, it's just the way things work. People are sloppy talkers, the microphone burps, things don't go as planned. And you're 10 minutes late starting the show because you have to restart everything. Well, another change we have is the name of Jana's show. I think this is change number 5. And finally, I realized last night, why are we calling it all these other things when we know exactly what it is? Because it's our intro screen. So now it will be known as, when Jana's here, Fridays at 10:15, Hardcore ASL with Jana Sweeney. That's her thing. That's our website, hardcoreasl.com. And her weekend show at 11 a.m. Eastern is Hardcore ASL with Jana Sweeney, plus chat disability. So it's not just limited, where you can come in and ask her questions. Well, this is very exciting. I can't believe the captions are working. I hope that I'm not under like a free trial or something that's going to disappear tomorrow. We're going to have to pay $1 million to get our captions back. I'm shocked that it's working. I don't know how it's working. I don't know why it's working. Everything that I thought was going to happen today didn't happen, because I wasn't sure the captions were going to work. And Jana Marie and I had a long planning session this morning. Let's try this, let's try that. Here's an overlay. Click on this, but don't click on it because I might have to pay for bits first. And on and on and on. So these live captions are very exciting. Big step. Better late than never, isn't that the saying? Could have had this from day one, and I tried, but I didn't understand the theory and the idea of an overlay. And a lot of these plugins and extensions sort of assume that you know a little bit more than you really do. Especially if you're a new streamer. You need someone to really just to kind of say, okay, do this and do that and do this. But if you don't know how to do that, then you can't do this. Hello! Thank you so much for the follow, Gamer22. So this whole conversation about closed captioning and accessibility leads me to talk just a little bit more about the Americans with Disabilities Act. It's about 30 years old now or so. And some people think it's wonderful, and other people think it's kind of a miserable failure. And I understand that, and we're going to discuss that right now. And one thing that I like about these captions is that the deaf and the disabled, the people who don't really usually have a good job or any money, relatively speaking, ratio speaking, don't have to pay to get these captions. And the onus is usually on the streamer or the business to pay for the closed captions. And so far, we're not paying. I don't know if that will last. And it's disappointing that we don't just get captions. Facebook, YouTube give captions as part of their accessibility program. Twitch, right now, does not universally. They do very narrowly for their own broadcasts, but not for the live streamers. And that's disappointing because Twitch is owned by Amazon, the richest company in the entire universe. The known universe. So let's talk just a little bit about the ADA and how things change without really changing. And they're supposed to be good, and they use the law to try to enforce a morality and a moral behavior. So recently, a federal judge for the Southern District of New York recently ruled that the city of New York violated the Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA, by failing to install audible devices at crosswalks. Now, you've heard those, right? I find them very confusing, but I'm not blind, and I don't rely on them to cross the street. But I do find it sort of terrifying when I'm at a 5-corner intersection, which we have one here in Jersey City. It's called 5 Corners. And you push the button, and it tells you it's okay to walk. Now, I guess the blind must be very well trained to know go this way or go this way or go that way, because you have 5 different choices. I don't know how they know which direction they're saying is safe. Maybe it's the direction of where the button is. And these devices tell the blind and visually impaired people when it is safe to cross the streets. But the city had installed them in only 3.4% of intersections. The federal district court concluded that the city's conduct amounted to an illegal denial of services and benefits by a public entity in violation of Title II of the ADA. The decision comes 30 years after Congress enacted the ADA. If the court's interpretation of the ADA is sound, then New York City, and likely cities across the country, have been allowed to flout the ADA for more than 3 decades, with courts just now enforcing its requirements. What took so long? Compliance with the ADA's accessibility requirements can never be taken for granted. The implementation of measures to ensure compliance with accessibility rules has been subpar. And examples of inaccessible spaces, both of state and local government and privately owned, abound. The enforcement of the ADA's accessibility mandates has been left to individual litigants, typically after construction has been completed, a mechanism often portrayed in the media as fraudulent and abusive drive-by litigation. And if you do a search on failure of ADA on the internet, you're going to get a lot of really nasty conservative articles blaming the disabled people for all these expenses that these businesses have to use and employ to meet the ADA. Blame the victim. Nearly every day adds a new chapter to the story of this struggle under the ADA. On the day after the decision on audible traffic devices in New York City, the Supreme Court ruled on another case involving the rights of people with disabilities on streets and sidewalks. This time siding with Alabama state officials who stopped an effort to allow people with disabilities to avoid the risks associated with COVID-19. So this is very recent. And vote safely from their cars by handing their ballots, their voting ballots, to election officials. Curbside voting seemed a perfect example of a reasonable accommodation. That is language under the ADA. It's a core concept in the ADA. Yet, the court overturned the decisions of 2 lower federal courts without explanation, allowing Alabama to ban curbside voting. Dissenting with 2 other justices, Justice Sonia Sotomayor urged the court not to stand in the way of local election officials who were willing to help vulnerable voters fulfill their civic duty. The court's ruling was an unfortunate note in a campaign during which, at least on the Democratic side, disability rights policy was prominently discussed, with all the major candidates, including President-elect Joe Biden, presenting plans to realize the promise of the ADA made 3 decades ago. With the COVID-19 pandemic continuing to ravage the United States, posing particular challenges for some people with disabilities, the Biden administration will take center stage as the struggle over the ADA reaches its fourth decade. Sorry, I'm getting one more screenshot of this lovely, beautiful closed captioning that we have today. It's our moment, I suppose, in ADA history, as we are not only joining in, but complying with the spirit and the mandate of the ADA. And that leads me to this greater conversation that we've shared here together before. This is nothing new. Where you have people and institutions who claim to be ADA compliant, to have offices of equitability and fairness and inclusion, when in reality, they don't mean it at all. When in reality, instead of having to deal with a disabled person or a deaf person, they will go out of their way to not serve them. Be it a doctor's office who doesn't want to find an interpreter, be it a university who doesn't think that a sign language program needs a deaf person to be involved with leading the program. Oh, the hearing people can do it. Oh, my best friend when I was 5 years old was a deaf person. So that qualifies me to be an advisor and a consultant to any ASL program or group of students. That's actually happened. That's actually going on right now today. And that institution thinks that they're on top of the world and that they're woke and that they're inclusive. And it's all a lie and a big joke because they've been made aware of it and they don't care. It's always about money. Follow the money trail. And when there's no money, you know who's going to get hit first? Well, the blind don't really need to cross all the streets. Well, the disabled can't get out of their car, but it doesn't mean that they can vote from a curbside. And in many ways, many of the gains we had 15 years ago under the ADA, where companies and people and businesses were getting sued, have all been washed away. And they've been washed away by indifference. Oh, we've already done that. Oh, we already have 3.4% of our crossing lights enabled with voice to help the blind cross the street. Now, we understand there are 90% of other streets that the blind cannot safely cross, but 3.4% is a lot. Not really. And if you talk to deaf people, they go through this every day. We have a deaf friend who had a problem with her back and called her doctor's office and said, I'm coming in, I have an emergency. They said, okay, we'll see you. And they said, by the way, I need an interpreter. They said, well, it's going to take a couple of weeks to get an interpreter. And that's how they put you off. They don't want to see you. 2 weeks, another 2 weeks, another 2 weeks. Oh, your back is fine now. So, every day's a fight. You have to threaten. You have to try to convince. And you quickly learn that being warm and friendly doesn't really get you anywhere. Because people walk over you. They stomp on your rights. They do what's best for them, not what's best for the disabled. And I guess that's the crowning achievement of the new modern world we live in. Where the able-bodied and the majority do not want to give up their force of rule over the disadvantaged and the disabled. And with that, my friend, we're going to take a brief blood pressure break. I will see you momentarily. And we are back for break. I'm David Boles here on BOLES period TV. Now I'm being rude and looking off to my left, watching myself on Apple television. Oh boy. Oh boy. No captioning. That's interesting. A little bit dismaying. Now I'm gonna slide over and look at my iPad and see if there are captions on my iPad. We know it works on the web, we know it works on the iPhone. What about the iPad? Oh. Huh. I'm still here and I'm confused. Well, now I've completely messed everything up. Oh. Oh. I thought I had the captions, and then they disappeared. I am testing the captions on the iPad. Not showing up. Dismay. Emergency. Don't understand. I don't know. I don't know. It seems to be working everywhere else. There's Jana Marie. I have CC here still. I'm reading everything you're saying. But you are on an iPhone, are you not, Jana Marie? Yeah, Artist Dora. Now that's interesting. Okay, you're on your iPad, yeah? You're able to see them, but once I turn them on, oh, I'll pin it. I'm able to see them once I turn them on, but can't see anything other than you and the captions. I can't use the text feature. That is what I saw. I saw for a split second me over here, and here where chat would usually be were my captions. And then they disappeared, and there's no chat. This is very annoying. I know I'm being very rude. So there has to be a way to get the captions to... Okay, now I see them. So how do you... So Dora, how did you send that to me if you're... if you can't text? Do you turn it off somehow? Oh, I see what you do. Okay, so there's an arrow that you click, and then that turns off the captions and brings chat back. I think. Oh boy. Now what do I do? There's nothing like the planned execution of a well-earned show. There's nothing like the execution of a well-planned show is probably what I meant to say. Momentarily. Okay. When I left for my break, it said terribly instead of momentarily. You had to turn it off, yes. Oh, that's fascinating. And then I guess that's to be expected. Especially on an iPad. I don't know how this works on an iPhone, but Jana Marie confirms that it's working. But somehow, I can't get my... I can't get back. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it is back. On the iPad. Beautiful. You gotta love that. Oh, just let it run. Jana Marie. Jana Marie, sweetheart, baby kitty. Yes, do it again. Here it is. And then chat, we bring chat back. We bring chat back when we're ready. And we're not ready yet. Because we love the captions. Oh, I'm so happy it works. Success! Oh, I love the captions. Fantastic. And that's big, big, big print. I don't know why the print's so big, but we can make that smaller, we know. We're learning together, as Dora says. We should pin that too. Pin. So you turn it off and you turn it on. So you click the Streamlabs thing, not Streamlabs, the caption thing. That brings it, then you click on the down arrow, that gets rid of it, and I guess supposedly brings back chat. Whew. Fabulous. And I honestly can't believe it's working. I can't believe any of this is working. This microphone, the lights, the camera. It's all held together. With wish and a sealing wax. Unpin. Now we'll try to get into our regular show. Really big shoe. Oh. The captions got it right. They captioned really big shoe, and they went back and auto-corrected it to really big show. Which I suppose is correct, unless you're doing your Ed Sullivan impersonation. So here's something fun that was sent to me. These are caribou in the Antarctic. And when they have new babies in their group, or when someone is injured and there are predators around, they all get together and start walking in this beautiful circle to protect the vulnerable at the center of the circle. And I guess predators don't want to try to barge in to that circle to get the vulnerable, because there's a lot going on there and you have to deal with a lot of people. I find it fascinating. It's so beautiful. And the geometry is just great. Now this does have music, and I can't play it. But if this had speech, and it wasn't captioned, as I understand it, you would not be able to hear it. I can repeat what's being said, but the closed captioning has to go through my microphone. It's very soothing. And I love the circle on the side, which is very tight in a confined area. But the other circle is very tight too, and it's in a great big area. So they definitely have a way they like to move. Now, speaking of animals, this is my favorite video of the week. Hi, Jana Marie. Never seen that before. I know, me either. Absolutely gorgeous. And wonderful because it has a purpose. Oh, now I need to go back and fix this. And let me just see here. That was Jana Marie. Let me send a quote because I have to readjust the quote. The quote box, you can't read it. I gotta move it over a little bit. Oh, okay, now we're cool. Move that over a little bit. Oh, okay, good. This is my favorite video of the week. 2 hairless cats giving their friend a bath. Now, I don't know if hairless cats groom themselves. Do they have a reason to? I don't know. I would assume they do. And I love the expression. Why can't just putting up with it. Oh, it's so funny. It is cute. I love the three cats. Now we'll talk a little bit. We talked about the ADA and the blind and the deaf. Now we'll go into a little bit of a color scheme. This might be frightening, but it's all right. We're here together. This is Jana Marie with her latest facial mask. And we did this the other day. This was our fun on Christmas together. I'm told this is a puppy. And it's very cute. I agree it's a puppy. And this mask was to work on your pores, which I enjoyed very much. This is my mask. This is the zebra mask. And you can see how the mask fits my face and how the mask fits Jana Marie's face. She has a very tiny kitty head, and I have a gigantic monster face. And here's what's interesting about this. And mine was moisturizing. Now, I thought we should have maybe swapped, because my pore problem is much worse than hers. But we didn't. And I like this design a lot. So then I took several other photographs, and these are not the same photograph. These are separate photographs. And how color changes perspective, right? So this is me, different photograph with this effect, this black background effect. Okay, different. This is me, a new photograph with this black and white effect with a black background. Even different, right? From that to this, different person. Here it is with a white background. It's another new photograph. I'm not moving. I am moving, but it's not me changing the backgrounds. It's the camera changing the background while I take another photograph. So the perception between that and this is very interesting. How dark collides with the light and the light collides with the dark. It's quite interesting. Funny, as I buy myself masks, I see them advertised on my C-dramas. Do they work? What is a C-drama? C-drama. I have no idea what that means. They work beautifully. They're a lot of fun. We get ours, I believe, from Amazon, and there are like 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different companies. Oh, your Chinese dramas. Wow, that's cool. Yes, they work very well. And you leave them on 15, 20 minutes. Then, as Jana Marie says, you take off the mask and you don't move. You just massage everything in, and you don't wash your face and you don't wash it off. You just massage the residue of the mask. Speaking of color, I saw this the other day. I thought, fascinating. The idea behind this is that all the balls are exactly the same color. And I've seen friends online arguing about this. No, they're not. They're different colors. I can look. And people say, you really, really, really know they're different because you have to zoom in. And when you zoom in, you can see that they're all the same color. No, they're not. Yes, it is. And they're sort of a bronze color. They call it brown. I think it's more of a bronze. And this is that image with the lines removed. And you can see all the balls are the same color. It's very true. So our eyes play with this a little bit. Our mind sees what it wants to see. And color is very powerful in effect. Now here's an interesting story about the news, and this worries me a lot, because when we think about what's coming next, it's slightly terrifying. The news networks saw a significant drop in viewership in 2021, according to Nielsen data. After many networks drew bigger audiences the previous year amid the COVID-19 pandemic and 2020 presidential election, among other big stories. The drop in viewership this year was larger among cable news networks, the Associated Press reported, with a 38% drop in weekday primetime viewership for CNN, 38% drop for Fox News, and 25% drop for MSNBC. Network news channels fared somewhat better than their cable counterparts, with viewership at ABC's World News Tonight and CBS Evening News dropping by 12%, and viewership for NBC's Nightly News dropping by 14%. Now, why is this disturbing? Because the news is not about the truth. The news is about selling advertising. The news pretends to serve the public good without doing anything like that. The news wants a story. The news wants conflict. The news pretends to be fair and tell both sides of a story, where one story is lying to everybody and killing everybody, and the other side is trying not to kill people. But they're reported as if they're equal in importance, and they're not. But what that drop-off in viewership means is that people are not as worried, and they're more content. They don't need to cling to the news as they used to when you knew who was president. Oh yes, Donald Trump. Big business for the news business. People wanted to know every day what he was going to do next, and what it meant for them and for us and for the country and the world. He's an entertainer first, and a politician last. So what do you think is going to happen in 22 and the 24 election? They're already reporting every single day on what Donald Trump is doing, and who he's meeting, and who he's enforcing, and who he is supporting, and who he is condemning, and who he is going after. They love Donald Trump. Even these liberal networks, they love him because he means ratings. He pays for their salaries. They're not interested in facts or the truth. They're interested in providing you blood and fear for your entertainment. And they're very good at it. All while pretending to remain above it all. And that's why you have other avenues like bloggers and live streams where you can sit here and have a chat about what's really happening around you. And it becomes a grave concern to a lot of people. So Donald Trump is going to be getting a big bump and a big push in 2022 and 2024, especially the midterm elections. The networks are going to use that as a test for themselves to see if Trump still has staying power. And they want him to have staying power. They want him to have power because he enables very crazy, wacky people who make good television. Why do we need to hear what these crazy outlier people think? Every day on the news, what they're doing. Why do we care? They're meaningless. They have no power except the power that the press gives them. And the press wants them because they're good, outrageous television. So if Trump appears to be successful in pushing his agenda in 2022 and the Democrats lose the House or the Senate, well, then it's on. All gloves are going to be off. Every button is going to be pushed to get Trump into that race in 2024. And all of the big media outlets are going to help him get there. Because they need the money. They need to win back their audience. They need to scare us into tuning in and listening to their analysis and their unfair and unbalanced reporting. And that's the America that we live in. And we choose it every day by how we behave and how we vote. And we vote with our eyes, watching television. Dora says the U.S. is the only country that has star anchors. Everywhere else, the anchors just read the news. And that's exactly right. And it's funny how these news anchors are so beautiful and perfect looking. And they have costume budgets, clothing budgets, where you just want someone to tell you what's going on with the day. Well, they don't want to be a newsreader. There was a gentleman that I know when I was in graduate school. He was an actor. Wanted to be a Shakespearean actor. And he was okay. Good-looking guy. His name was Tony. Everybody loved him. Charming personality. Then about 2 or 3 years later, after we all graduated, Tony had become Antonio and was hosting a major network news show. I said, wait a minute. That guy's an actor. He acted in Columbia University plays. He was an acting major. He's not a journalist. He's a good-looking guy. But he didn't go by Tony anymore. Now he was Antonio. And we know why. Looks better, sounds better, presents yourself better, equal opportunity. But if you knew him, the real Tony, you'd say, what is he doing on television? He's not terribly good at analysis. He's good at reading lines. Okay, so he's a newsreader. But in America, these are newsreaders who have a lot of power and who can cut you off or who can engage you, who can help you or not help you at all. It's very dismaying. And with Walter Cronkite, Walter Winchell, Mike Wallace, Chris Wallace's father, there was an order to what they were doing. War correspondent. You earned your guts out in the field by doing the field reporting. You weren't the prettiest one in the room. You worked hard, and then you got the slot on television. And it's not that way anymore. Now you have to be pretty and young. And you have to have nice teeth and pretty hair and be charming. And you see these new correspondents on television. And they usually have them on 3 or 4 in the morning or on the weekends. And during holidays. And you see them and you're thinking, my goodness, this person is just repeating out loud something they had just been told or had read. They didn't research it. If you would ask them a follow-up question like, what did you just say? They wouldn't be able to tell you. They would repeat it, but they wouldn't be able to analyze it for you. They're just, as they say, talking heads. And why we allow that as viewers in America to be the reality is beyond me. I don't understand it. But people don't seem to care. They want entertainment from their news. If it bleeds, it leads. And we don't need to have just good news. We can have just tell us what happened. It doesn't have to be a fact, but it should be the truth, at least. And now it's time to take one more blood pressure break. I will see you momentarily. The caption's got it right. And we are back from break. Thank you very much for being here on Boles, period. TV. BOLES.TV. Okay, that worked. The dot is working now, it seems. And we are here with you every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, here talking about the human condition and disability and sociology and methodology and linguistics and all kinds of other fun and funky things, because that's our street name. Fun and funky. Thank you so much for cheering Jana Marie during the break. We appreciate that so much. We love your support and understanding. So the next thing we'll discuss is a topic that we discussed yesterday that I told you I was going to research, and I did. And it still upsets me. We talked about ELISA Redux yesterday and SMS text therapy and how these chat bots and AI, artificial intelligence things that you have to deal with online to get any sort of technical support are the new hot item in the world of online customer service. And the more these bots and chatbots can appear human, the better it is for the companies, and the companies want to tell us the better it is for the consumer, because they feel like they're talking to a real person when they're not. They're just talking to a computer. That means we don't have to pay real people to talk to real people. We can have fake people talking to real people. And I use bots on my website, bolesblogs.com, and our other websites. You'll see in the lower right-hand corner, there's a Facebook Messenger thing. You click on it, say hello to me, and I will reply back with a canned response. But I'm not pretending to be there. But people think I'm there. So this idea of humanizing these bots is called Human-Ness. So just for fun, I looked up Human-Ness. And you can see it highlighted in this screenshot, but it also goes to human. Of pertaining to a characteristic of or having the nature of people, human frailty. Now, isn't that interesting? It's not a person. Human-ness is a characteristic. It is the nature. The second definition is people of the human race. Third, related to a social aspect of people. And fourth, sympathetic. But I love that the first definition is human is just a characteristic, not a real thing. So what else is going on? Oh! Synonyms for humanness. Humankind, mankind, society, people, Homo sapiens, and human beings. Not terribly thrilling. And then this popped up, which I'll be honest with you, terrified me just a little tiny bit. Because this is where all of this is going. It's not really about chatbots and customer service on the web. It's about replacing people, deep fakes. From the New York Times. These people may look familiar, like ones you've seen on Facebook or the Twitter. Okay? These are computers morphing these people into other people. And each one of these images, you look at it and say, oh, that's a person. Okay, that's a person. But they're changing ever so significantly. Or people you've read reviews on from Amazon. Dating profiles you've seen on Tinder. Okay. And they keep changing and morphing from one person to another. And each image, going from male to female and back again, absolutely convincing. Same eyes, the face is changing. See that little morphing right there between the two? Just beautiful. Terrifying. Oh, even changing race in a flash. I'm scrolling too quickly. They look stunningly real at first glance. And this is where it gets very interesting. But none of these people exist. They were born from the mind of a computer. A computer programmed to search for and implicate humanness in functionality. This is all about trickery. This is all about make-believe, pretending that it's real. And the technology that makes them is improving at a startling pace. Oh, we know that. Our chatbots are becoming more human. And the companies are telling us that we like it. We like it that way. We like to be fooled. We like to pretend that we're in the company of another person, when really we're just talking to a machine. Do these people look real to you? And I can't share the whole article here, but I will share you this one really interesting part of it. Talking about age, face, eyes, how all of this changes. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Remember, these are not real people. These are imaginary people that a computer created to convince you. Changing the gender? Simple. Changing your race and ethnicity? Sure, why not? And here's the really great part of this article. How to spot when you're being faked out. What are these machines getting wrong? What don't they understand about people? That we as people, if we look in the right place and we recognize what's going on, we can say, oh, no, wait a minute. That's not how a real person behaves. And you see this a lot, actually, in the chess world, where in the last 10 years, people have been replaced by machines, bots. These online chess bots that are programmed to be absolutely genius. And they find moves that a human mind would not be able to find right now. And that's one of the signs of cheating, that you're playing against someone who's using a bot to help them, because no human would find that move. And that's the phrase the grandmasters use. That is not a human move. That is a computer move, because no human trained from here to here over this span of time has the knowledge and the experience to play this instead of playing that. And these grandmasters know it. Fashion accessories can cause a problem for these computers, taking random faces. Earrings, for example, might look similar, but often they do not exactly match. Now, is it funky to wear different earrings? Okay, maybe. But would someone wear a funky earring that's this close, that's almost right? I think people wear funky earrings where one earring is very different than the other, because that's the point of it. They want you to notice the difference. No one would wear earrings like this, of this style, that's that close, almost a match. These artificial intelligence people searching for humanness typically train on real photographs that have been centered, scaled, and perfectly cropped, okay? A formal business photograph. That's what these computers like. They like symmetry. Now, if you've ever taken a selfie, you've taken a picture of yourself, you're half here, you're half cocked. We looked at our ridiculous masked faces today, and you can see how ugly real people are. Talking about me, not Jana Marie. So as a result of this perfection that machines want, this symmetry that these machines want to create, each eye may be the same distance from the center. And we know that's not true. If you've ever been in an eyeglass store, you can tell people have one ear higher than the other, one eye's lower than the other. Perfectly symmetry people exist, but not very often. Thank you for the follow. As a result, each eye may be the exact same distance from the center. That rarely happens in nature. As the chess giants would say, that is not a human move to have eyes that are that perfect. Glasses are a common accessory in many of these fake photographs. Okay? So you see that? Photograph. Anything weird going on with the glasses that your human mind notices that the computer can't? Glasses tend to have thin frames with end pieces that do not match. There you go. Different glasses, different frames on these glasses. Would you notice that if you weren't looking for it? Probably not. I think people would just look at him and say, oh, he has tape on one side. Do we need to judge every image we see online? Is that a real person or is that not a real person? Is that a machine I'm talking to or am I talking to a real person? Just like I asked Eliza Redux, are you a real person? Why is it important to you to know if I'm a real person? Most of us don't have perfectly symmetrical features. And the system is good at recreating them. But as a result, it can produce a deep indentation in one ear that may not be present in the other. Very interesting. Mismatched ears. Now, people do not have symmetrical, perfect ears, but they usually don't have ears that look like this, that are that entirely different. One might stick out farther than the other one, but you're not going to have earlobes that are different. The lobes would be the same. Again, would we notice that? Would we say, oh, that's a computer move, that's not a human being? There are other odder artifacts that can appear out of nowhere. Like, remember, we've seen all these photographs before, we scroll through them. Most often, they're only in one part of the image, but if you look closely enough, it's hard to unsee it. Okay, a little thing in her hair. Sometimes the clues about whether an image is fake aren't in a person's features. Abstract or blurry backgrounds are often giveaways that the image has been manipulated by a computer and it's not a real person. So there you go. That's the life that's coming for us. What's real, what's not real? I guess we're going to come to the assumption sooner or later that everyone we meet's a big fake. And some people might say that's already happening with all these surgeries and tucks. And that's why community becomes important and necessary. People you grew up with, people you came up with, people you know, people you recognize. You know they're authentic. You know they're not created. They're a real person and they're not mechanical. So Mother Teresa is a very interesting person to me. And if you would ask anyone on the street, what do you think of Mother Teresa? Oh, isn't she great? She cared for the poor and she had a wonderful life and she's a saint now. Okay, all that's true. However, on December 27th, yesterday, the Indian government refused to renew a permission that is vital for Mother Teresa's Missionaries of Charity, MOC, to be able to secure foreign funds, cutting off a key source the charity is dependent on to run its programs for the impoverished. Nobel laureate Mother Teresa, a Roman Catholic nun who died in 1997, founded the MOC in 1950. The charity has more than 3,000 nuns worldwide who run hospices, community kitchens, schools, leper colonies, and homes for abandoned children. The government of Prime Minister Modi refused permission to the charity under the Foreign Contributions Regulations Act after it received some adverse inputs, a government's statement said. While considering the MOC's renewal application, some adverse inputs were noticed, the Home Ministry said, without providing any details. The ministry also rejected an earlier allegation of the West Bengal State Chief Minister that the bank accounts of the charities were frozen. Later, the MOC in a statement confirmed their FCRA application was not renewed, and it has asked its centers not to operate any foreign contribution accounts until the matter is resolved. This move comes as a hardline Hindu outfits affiliated to Modi's party have accused the MOC of leading religious conversion programs under the guise of charity by offering poor Hindus and tribal communities food, medicine, money, free education, and shelter. The MOC has rejected all of those allegations. So that was yesterday. Now before, there's been a lot of issues with Mother Teresa. Christopher Hitchens, who's a very smart guy, conservative, tough, hated Clinton. Both Bill and Hillary, hated both of them. He's dead now. Complete atheist, would argue religion with people. And then, of course, after he died, the religious people came forth and said on his deathbed he had a conversion and accepted Jesus Christ as his Savior. That happens a lot. And he knew that was going to happen. So Christopher Hitchens had a little thing that after he died said, if people try to say he had a deathbed conversion to Jesus Christ, that's not true. It didn't happen. Don't believe them. That's propaganda. So this is something that Christopher Hitchens, he wrote a whole book on Mother Teresa and what a big fake and phony she was. And it alarmed and insulted a lot of people, and he didn't care. Writing about Mother Teresa, this returns us to the medieval corruption of the church, which sold indulgences to the rich while preaching hellfire and continence to the poor. Mother Teresa was not a friend of the poor. She was a friend of poverty. She said that suffering was a gift from God. She spent her life opposing the only known cure for poverty, which is the empowerment of women and the emancipation of them from a livestock version of compulsory reproduction. And she was a friend to the worst of the rich, taking misappropriated money from the atrocious Duvalier family in Haiti, whose rule she praised in return, and from Charles Keating of the Lincoln Savings and Loan scandal here in America. Where did all that money and all the donations go? The primitive hospice in Calcutta was run down when she died, as it always had been run down. She preferred California clinics when she got sick herself, and her order always refused to publish an audit. But we have our own claim that she opened 500 convents in more than 100 countries, all bearing the name of her own order. Excuse me, but is this modesty and humility? The rich world has a poor conscience, and many people like to alleviate their own unease by sending money to a woman, Mother Teresa, who seemed like an activist for the poorest of the poor. People do not like to admit that they have been gulled or conned, so a vested interest in the myth was permitted to arise. and lazy media never bothered to ask any follow-up questions. Many volunteers who went to Calcutta came back abruptly disillusioned by the stern ideology and poverty-loving practice of missionaries of charity. But they had no audience for their story. George Orwell's admonition in his essay on Gandhi, that saints should always be presumed guilty until proved innocent, was drowned in a Niagara of soft-hearted, soft-headed, and uninquiring propaganda. Recent questions about Mother Teresa. She was generous with her prayers, but rather miserly when her foundation's millions when it came to humanity's suffering. During numerous recent floods in India or following the explosion of a pesticide plant in Bhopal, at that time she offered numerous prayers and medallions of the Virgin Mary, but no direct monetary aid. On the other hand, she had no qualms about accepting the Legion of Honor and a grant from the Duvalier dictatorship in Haiti. Millions of dollars were transferred to the MCO's various bank accounts, but most of the accounts were kept secret. Given the parsimonious management of Mother Teresa's works, one may ask where the millions of dollars for the poorest of the poor have gone. In another recent article about Mother Teresa, there is something beautiful in seeing the poor accept their lot, to suffer it like Christ's passion. The world gains so much from their suffering, Mother Teresa once told the unamused Christopher Hitchens. Even within the bounds of Christian notions and blessed meekness, what kind of perverse logic underlies such thinking? The answer, unsurprisingly, given to the locale of her work, is racist colonialism. Despite the 100 countries missions and her Albanian birthplace, Mother Teresa is of India, and India begat Blessed Teresa of Calcutta. And there she became what the historian Vijay Prashad dubbed the quintessential image of the white woman in the colonies, working to save dark bodies from their own temptations and failures. Mother Teresa's image is entirely circumscribed by colonial logic, that of the white savior shining a light on the world's poorest brown people. Mother Teresa was a martyr, not for India and the global South's poor, but for white bourgeois guilt. As Prashad says, it functioned as this of, not on top of, a genuine challenge to those forces that produce and maintain poverty. And how did she, Mother Teresa, even help said brown people? Well, dubiously at all. She had a persistent ulterior motive to convert some of India's most vulnerable and sick to Christianity. As the chief of a Hindu nationalist NGO said last year, there are even a number of accounts that she and her nuns tried to baptize the dying. So there's an interesting take on Mother Teresa. We build up saints and people and think they're more important than they are or should be, and we wonder where the money goes, and we wonder what went wrong, and we wonder how we were so misled in the end when we find out what really happened. In the meantime, it's all right there, staring back at us, looking, waiting. And we that are too blind to see. Well, we have one more interesting thing to share today. Got a little bit of a late start today, so we're going to wrap this up. With COVID masks. Now, people don't like to wear masks because you can't breathe, people think, and you can't hear. And there's this new invention of this new mask called Vocal Ease. that allegedly helps people sing and speak and be heard and still be able to breathe. So part of the PR says this product allows singers and speakers to fearlessly and safely return to the community and share their collective gifts with the world. And in the spirit of giving, we align with partners that contribute to the common good by providing hope and opportunities to undeserved individuals and organizations. So that's the PR for this new mask. And here's what it looks like. And they have a video, but I can't play it because they're singing. But this is what the mask looks like. And what it appears is that it is just a giant mask that is not near your face. It's not tight to your nose or your mouth. It's out to here, like a snout, sort of, I guess. And it claims that it has acoustic transparency, excellent source of control and aerosol filtration, full range of motion, high breathability, flexible fit, glasses, fogging protection, adjustable lanyard. But I do like that it doesn't go around the ear. Around the ear is very difficult for people who have hearing aids or who have sensitive ears. It goes around the head in 2 straps. And you can hear the difference, but I can't play it for you. And then I'm going to show you what slightly concerns me about this. From their frequently asked questions. And let's go to materials. For me, the reason you wear a mask is not to be able to sing in church or to give a performance or to be heard by anybody. You wear a mask to protect yourself from other people, and if you happen to be sick or unwell, you protect other people from you. That's why you wear a mask. And people try to change it into a political issue, into a comfort issue, and it's not very interesting. What materials are used in the mask? Reticulated polyurethane filter foam, seal fabric, nylon, spandex, cotton. Now, what I'm reading in this is not a lot of filtration and not a lot of hard numbers about what this mask will do for you from a safety point of view. The whole purpose of this mask seems to be from a convenience point of view so people can hear you and you can sing in church. Or sing wherever. And then, a strange part, I've noticed the foam has an odd smell. Will it go away? Now that doesn't, something you're putting on your face having a strange smell does not say to me sterile medical device. And the answer is even just a little weirder. Let me see if I can get in closer. The high filtrating properties of polyurethane filter foam make it extremely odor absorbent. So while your mask was being thoughtfully, thank you for the sub. So while your mask was thoughtfully being hand sewn and packaged for you, it may have absorbed some undesirable factory odors. This is one reason why it's important to wash your mask before you wear it. We recommend a splash of vinegar with your laundering to help remove all unwanted odors and storing it in a fresh, odor-free area. Now, that to me is bad news. Because there is such a thing as mask breath. People go out to eat, uncover their mouths, they eat, then they put their mask on, and you're going to be smelling your lasagna dinner for the rest of the day. In addition to other people. So if you're on the subway, if you're out on a boat, all the gross smells of your environment are going to be embedded in this vocal ease mask. Or so the fact suggests. So the question is, well, if you don't want vocal ease, what are you going to do? Well, here you go. These are the masks that Jana Marie and I use. And do you see what's on the very front page? Bend Shape Mask. I'll put the link in the chat so we can use it as a further reference if you're interested. The first thing you see when you go to benshapemask.com is the most important part. It's not about singing. It's not about being heard. It's not about breathing. Highest filtration clear mask. .98% BFE, 98% PFE, 160 high fluid resistance, multiple sizes, all the details, all the clinical details of what you expect from a mask that's supposed to protect you. And yes, these are clear masks that Jana Marie uses to teach ASL and to communicate at work. Reminds people that she's deaf. And when we go out together, I wear them as well. They also make just a regular mask. It doesn't have to always be clear. But I'll show you the products. So you can make a distinction with a difference. Some of their masks are reusable, and some of them you use for a little bit and you throw them away. We use the disposable mask just because it's cleaner and, we believe, safer. So there they have a quartz clear mask with leading filtration, feather, curve shape, fit, comfort. Okay, so the feather is the mask that you can't see through. The quartz is the one you can see through. Multiple sizes, how they work, usage. Ooh, look at that. Custom logos and patterns. That's new. Got to put a Boles TV on there somewhere. So now we click on shop. And these are not the cheapest masks in the world. They're rather expensive if you choose the disposable type. So we're going to go for the ASTM3, which is the Hi Daddy Ho Daddy of excellent masks. Oh. Went too far. The quartz mask. Then you can get accessories, and it's a lot of money. $162 for 25 of them. $6.50 a unit. Now, if you're just going to go for the reusable one, then it's not quite as much, I don't believe. Well, it's not changing. Then the feather is here, $137. So it's $30 cheaper if we go for the non-clear. And what I like about this is you measure your face. If you're a large, medium, small, or extra small kid, you get a mask that actually fits your face, that's designed for one of your faces. Plus, you can pick if you want the awful ear loop or the much more preferable head cord. And they're adjustable. You can adjust them from the side and go around the back. And these are made for medical situations, which in my opinion is why you would want a mask like this. If you're not going to wear a mask to protect you from horrible things out there, don't let your ego get in the way of your performance wants. So here's the clear mask, and this is the overview of what it does. And it's all right here for your investigation. Engineered, what's with the particle filtration, the efficiency, fluid resistance, bidirectional filtration, transparent, ear loop, head strap. It's all here. It's really terrific. So I highly recommend Bend Shape Mask. And as they say, you get what you pay for. So it might be a little more expensive, but boy oh boy, you're going to be well protected. A mask for mask acne. That's interesting. These masks don't touch your skin, which prevents irritation, which will not cause acne. Maskne. And yes, sometimes they fog up just slightly, and then they clear. So there you go. Big show on disability. The closed captions so far seem to be working magnificently. I'm so thrilled with that, I really don't know what to do with myself. If you have any questions or comments about this show or the live stream or Jana Marie Sweetheart, You know where to find us. Email us, David at boles.tv, B-O-L-E-S period TV. Look at the closed captions. Yeah, pretty good. You can also write to Jana at Boles, B-O-L-E-S period TV, and send her a question, or if you need clarification about something. There's no private tutoring in email. Don't try that. People try it. Don't try that. And we learned about how machines are just doing their best to try to fake us out. On the chessboard, in the boardroom, and online. You can find me on Twitter at David Boles if you prefer that method of communication. On Facebook, I'm B-O-L-E-S, Boles. Discord server, David Boles. And on the Instagram, Boles Books. It's been a wonderful stream today. I thank you so much for your participation and help and involvement. And before I completely sign off, I'm just going to look at my Apple TV here while we're still live, because I cannot test this if we're not on the air. I'm just going to see if I can make this, if the captions are there anywhere. Can I dismiss this? Because right now I'm seeing chat in the sidebar, and I don't know how to get rid of it. Okay, I got rid of the chat, and, oh, chat's back. Can I? No, that's for if I want 720p or not. I'll just go with auto. Well, that's interesting. I'm going to have to, if the developer ever gets back to me, I'm going to have to ask him about this and what's going on with the captions not working on Apple TV. I'm sure there's some kind of funky Human-Ness issue going on there. Probably meaning the mechanicals. The rude mechanicals are involved in somehow blocking the closed captions from going to the Apple TV. Such is life. But we have Apple TV not working. We have iPad closed captions working. We have web closed captions working. We have confirmed iPhone closed captions working. Working. Wonderful. I will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern, right here. I'm David Boles. This has been Boles.tv. B-O-L-E-S period T-V. Have a wonderful day.